Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. Good to have you with us. For those who remember, I'm back. For those who don't, I'm Marcus from the Football Ramble. Laurence has kindly shuffled one over.
Football on duty yet.
Moved him from the wing into the centre. More influential.
In a way.
You could
Should
argue.
be Alonso.
But it's good to see. Yeah, call me Marcus. Laurence McKenna's here. Laurence and Roman Kemp. Well, handshakes this week, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'll bring. That's what I will bring is a handshake. We're going to be talking about 5 things we learned from the weekend, a little bit of Ballon d'Or chat as well, you lucky things. First up, Barcelona 3, Atletico Madrid 1. It was a good convincing win for Barcelona, Roman.
Yeah, I mean it's finally coming to fruition almost, the chemistry between the front three, and it's great to see. I think, you know, Suarez coming into a new side, a new formation. He's finally learning his new teammates' style and how to play, really, with those great players.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean 3 goals for one for each of the front men.
What lovely strike, and Suarez is too. I mean, Suarez's touch.
It was nice.
Not even touch, but just to get me on the defence is lovely. So,
is the crisis over? Was there even a crisis, Roman?
I think everything kind of got a bit blown out of proportion, as it always does. Especially the Spanish press are known to kind of mainly focus on Barcelona and Real Madrid, and whenever there's any form of tension going on in that club, they always blow it up. But there's been disagreements obviously off the pitch, but I think it's just a change in manager and players getting to know like a new system, really, because they've changed under Luis Enrique how they're playing, and I think it's just a growing period that they're going through.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, they've had it pretty good there for a little while.
Have they? Yeah.
Indeed, if you recall the other years. But obviously Guardiola's not there anymore, hasn't been for a couple of years now. Martino didn't quite happen for them.
Yeah.
So it's a tough job for Enrique to come in, Luis Enrique. But do you think he's been slightly hard done by so far?
I mean, it's tough in a sense. They're still quite close to the top in the sense that they're not a million miles away from being able to achieve something this season. They're still in the Champions League. They're still playing quite nice football.
They have a ridiculously good attacking line.
Yeah, they're ridiculously good. But that was part of it, is fitting all of this talent
in.
And they've almost hamstrung themselves by having too many good players, which sounds ridiculous. But politically, they've done that. I think that's part of the problem with Barcelona, is they are such a politicised club because A, they're in such a politicised place with Catalonia, and B, they're not fan-owned, but they are closer to being run by the fans. They've got a much closer relationship. And there's a lot of political stuff going on at the club at the moment. People talking about Laporta coming back during the next elections. People talking about whether they could change the manager. And the politics of the dressing room that go with that, with some people favouring Messi and some people remembering what Luis Enrique did as a captain and saying you need to respect what the club has done as opposed to just the individual. So there's a lot of undercurrent there, I think, at the club as well, that it maybe isn't expressed when it's just, he followed Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, on Instagram or whatever it was, something like that.
No one cares.
Indeed, yeah. That's how ridiculous people can link stories as he follows them on Instagram. He's possibly going. Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. The Saints are on for the top 4, Laurence.
Yes,
currently. I mean, we have to take them seriously.
Well, now we do.
Now we do. Now they're into the new year. They're proving it. They're winning the games at Old Trafford.
The timeline goes like this. They're on for relegation, Marcus. They're on for relegation.
The season starts.
Marcus, they're not on for relegation. Why? Because they've got Ronald Koeman, one of the most desirable managers in Europe at the time when he was employed.
Indeed.
And he gave a great interview at the weekend. I don't know if it's before or after the game, but he said, I don't understand managers saying they need time. I didn't need time.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Because
it's so ballsy.
But I think you'd agree. There's been a really long timeline at Southampton since they were down in League One. We don't look all the way back to the youth system. We don't look all the way back and put that plan in. And that got lost when Pochettino left because people are like, the plan must be over then.
Sure.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
Look at what this Southampton side are achieving. They've got a sponsorless kit in terms of no one's made it. They've got a manager who's absolutely fantastic and they've taken him other places. They've still got a board that's very happy, and they've got a lot of fans who are now filling the stadium because they've done everything that the fans want. They're a really great model for a team and a great model for a club who have come up through the leagues through the years. And we forget what an achievement it is to be even there.
Well, absolutely. I think they had a 5-year plan, something like that. They've obviously produced some great youth players in recent years, and it must be great to see for Southampton fans for all this to come to fruition, and they're in the top 4 and could even get a Champions League spot.
I mean, the thing they have, the defensive system that has been implemented this year is better than Pochettino's. It's a fact. Like when Koeman came in, the players were a little bit new to it, but I think they've had 10 clean sheets in their last 21 games in this league.
That's right, yeah.
Are you saying that the defence is reminiscent of Arsenal a couple of years ago?
Yeah, the Invincibles period where we had the two centre defensive mids linking up, almost becoming their own back four with the centre backs, and you kind of have this kind of block of four, and
it's
then
very
the
sort of an
wing-backs can attack
impenetrable
forward.
unit, isn't it?
Yeah, and if I'm honest, that is. You can see that throughout the greatest teams in the world. The Germans have a similar system where if they are defending, even Toni Kroos, Sami Khedira will come back and almost act as sweepers to counteract the centre backs as well. But I think the defence for Southampton has almost saved them this year, and is something that they need to start to look at their attacking options. And I think that they haven't got the calibre of player to hit the top four just yet. I think yesterday it was a win for tactics more so than players on the field. And football in the sense of, but I think Southampton, for them to keep going, they need to have... if it was me, I would bring in someone during the transfer window in January now and make some form of statement, because they can bring in good players now. Because they're in that top four and they're challenging and they're beating the big teams. They've had great results against Chelsea, Arsenal and Man United. Players abroad will be looking at them thinking, maybe I should go to them now. Maybe they could get me in the Champions League. So I think, as much as they're in great form at the moment, with the team that they've got, I can't see them finishing in the top four.
Arsenal beat Stoke City 3-0. Stoke, sometimes a bogey side for Arsenal, but it was a good win for the Gunners, Roman, 3-0.
Yeah, it was the first convincing result that Arsenal have had, and a convincing performance
this season.
Yeah, I think so.
Has it been that bad?
I know, but it's not even the fact that I think as Arsenal fans we do expect greatness because we came from greatness. We were fed with a silver spoon from the past 10 years, and then all of a sudden we're going through this horrible change. But in my opinion, it just keeps on getting worse. And if it's not getting worse, it's staying stale. And I think things need to change. And I think the fact that that we're winning against Stoke and people are praising that result is odd to me. Like, it is odd to see that, in the same way that if Chelsea beat Stoke, no one bats an eyelid.
No.
And if Arsenal beat Stoke, it's like, oh, it's a great win, convincing win. We're going to get back into the top four. As an Arsenal fan, I don't want to be saying that. I don't want to be saying, and I completely understand football is one of those things where it takes time and it's a long game. It's not it's not short-term goals, but it's been going on for too long at Arsenal, and I think some stuff needs to change. I
do know what you mean there, Roman. I mean, and there is a sense, isn't there, of Arsenal got a convincing win at home against a lesser side.
A convincing win, but also a win where they played great football and most of their players did what they were supposed to do.
But I think, as Roman's saying, that has been a little too rare with Arsenal. With Alexis Sanchez aside.
They do produce performances when that criticism does seem to be rife, and it sort of just takes the level down back to, it's all right, don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? So there's always this kind of, like you say, maybe mediocrity, or fans are used to that. I would say they're still maintaining a very high level of performance. They're still very much within the peloton, if you like.
Yes.
Which is impressive. But like you say, that doesn't necessarily bring the best moments to Arsenal, doesn't necessarily bring the best achievements. And, the FA Cup last season was nice, but you'd much rather be winning the Premier League or the Champions League. Of course.
Down at the bottom of the Premier League, it's getting pretty tight. The relegation battle is shaping up to be a very interesting one. 10 points separate the bottom 10.
So down in the second half of the Premier League.
Well, the second half. Well, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Burnley have been showing a bit of form of late, some good results, and they beat QPR on the weekend, much to the disappointment of the QPR fans. Leicester got a vital win. They're still bottom, but still, Roman, very tight indeed.
Yeah.
Any particular teams that you think they've got a bit of impetus, they're going to go on a bit of a run? I mean, Pulis is now at West Brom, and Pardew is at Palace. That looks like a match made in heaven.
I think the Palace situation could go two ways.
Yes.
I think Alan Pardew is always known to have those honeymoon periods right at the beginning of his tenure, and then it's if he can keep the dressing room, fantastic. I think Tony Pulis is the perfect man for West Brom in the situation that they're in right now. I personally can't see them going down. The man has an amazing record in the Premier League. He understands how to grind out results. I think the person that I feel sorry for is Harry Redknapp. I can't see that team turning around.
Why do you feel sorry for Harry Redknapp?
Because he's lost the fans, and that is at this point in the season.
That's his fault.
Is it? I don't know, but I don't believe it is. I don't
Whose
believe
fault
it is.
is it?
I think it's.
I've
it's,
lost the fans. Why? Because I've got 40 players.
But then again, that's saying, do you blame the manager for all those type of results? Harry is a good manager. He's in a very tough situation. QPR is a very demanding club, given how much money they always say they have floating around.
Of course, they got relegated under Redknapp, and then he took them up, and now they're struggling.
Part of the 10-year plan.
That's
isn't it?
right.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, but they are struggling. I mean, would you see them as odds on for relegation?
I'd say they're. I mean, we thought that at the beginning of the season. They've gone on one of those short runs where it was like,
But their
But that's
away
the Charlie
record.
Austin run.
Yeah,
Charlie
Their
Austin
away
forward
record
run.
has been very poor.
Very poor, yeah. But that's I don't understand what we expect from QPR at this point. I don't understand what we expect, but a yo-yo club when you don't put the system in place to be able to get consistent results.
In Serie A, there was a good Rome derby played. It was a good Rome derby, 4 goals.
We've got a Roman in.
How about that? I mean, it's just we had to do it. It was so convenient, ladies and gentlemen. Totti got a brace, and the big story from that one, Roman, was he took a selfie when he scored the second goal, the equalising goal. Yeah.
I think the biggest
thing.
thing.
Think about that.
I think the biggest thing was, why did he not get yellow carded?
I agree with you, because he held the game.
Yeah.
I know, to quote Alan Pardew, when you're the king, you can do anything. But
Shut your noise.
no, that's a different quote entirely.
Right, okay.
And it's Totti, but you're absolutely right. He held the game on.
I'm so cynical about these kind of things.
A man brought a phone on to give him.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I think. Is this is why I'm so cynical about it, because I just think it's a PR stunt.
Yeah, but the wider context of it, though, actually, was
it sells shirts.
But Roma were 2 down. Yeah. Obviously, 2-1. Totti scored. Then he equalises. The celebration was a very much we've done it.
Yeah.
And they hadn't done it. They'd equalised, exactly. And now they're 3 points behind Juventus.
Yeah.
And that's the goal difference doesn't come into it in Italy, or it certainly used to. I think that's still the rule. So they're going to have to be 2 weeks until they get ahead of them outright, or 2 rounds of matches. If he'd have scored, grabbed the ball, or there'd have been a bit of celebration, and then come on, still go, they would have fought for the third. But the psychological effect of that celebration was we're fine now.
I think any other team other than Lazio that would have happened. I think the emotion that goes along with that match within the players as well as the fans is so huge that getting any form of thing to stop them winning is viewed as a win. Totti, he's Roma through and through, scoring against Lazio, he's always going to celebrate. They could be losing 3-0 and he would still celebrate.
But Roma are 3 points behind Juventus now. They got a very good win away to Napoli for the first time in 15 years or something. They won there. Where would you see the title going come the end of the season?
You've got to say Juventus are the favourites because season on season they've done it. Roma obviously have got a lot of impetus behind them at this point because of that was still a good result in that sense. They should have been doing better against Lazio. But I think the impetus is with Juventus at this point just because they find themselves looking so much more invincible.
Finally, the Ballon d'Or, Cristiano Ronaldo. He only went and won it again, didn't he? Yeah, as an extra spot in his museum. He fought off competition from Messi and Neuer to take the crown.
I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought Neuer was one of those players that I would really have loved to have seen get the Ballon d'Or and just kind of say, I'm a goalkeeper, I'm the best player in the world. And I think he was fully deserved of it, but Ronaldo, the influence that he has on his team, and I think winning the Champions League, obviously, it was down to players like him and Di Maria, who were so influential to Real Madrid. And he is the ultimate athlete still, and I think Messi this year is looking better than what he was last year. So maybe next year for Messi, but I think last year there's no one other to give it to.
Yeah, what do you think, Laurence? Diego Maradona thought Manuel Neuer should have won it.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice of him to wade in with an opinion.
Yeah, he was always asked for his opinion. To be honest, they're all deserving of it. Like you say, Manuel Neuer had a great year. But what you often want is something that's almost zeitgeist at that time. And I understand why Ronaldo won it. Ronaldo will win it in other years. You would have liked to see it commemorated that Germany won the World Cup. Yeah. Manuel Neuer got that.
Yeah. Do let us know in the comments below who you thought should have won the Ballon d'Or, and it should have been included in the in the shortlist as well.
Also, which one of us would win the Ballon d'Or?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the Football Daily this week. Big thanks to Laurence and Roman, of course. Get your comments in below and let us know what you thought of the weekend's actions. See you next time. Cheerio.